Buying a new house or a new car, like these, is always very appealing. But in today's economy, more people choose to remodel and update.
Hi, today we're going to show you how we'll update this car with a must-have feature. This is a 2003 Lexus, in good condition, but it doesn't have the bells and whistles a new car has. Today we're going to Off the Hook Auto Accessories, a shop that specializes in auto accessories, and they're going to replace the old radio with a new Clarion navigation unit. Here we are today at Off the Hook, a leading car shop installer here in South Florida.
Hey, how you doing, Jack?
Good, how are you? So what do you have for me here?
All right, we're gonna put some modern technology into your older vehicle. We're gonna upgrade your stereo system with some navigation, DVD, radio, all in one piece. So I'll get you up to date on your vehicle, kind of like what you'll find in the newer cars nowadays. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take your old unit out of the car. So we'll be taking your car apart, and then we'll prep the radio out here on the bench, so we'll get everything ready where it's a lot easier than working inside the car. And then the final process is going to actually be installing the vehicle back, the radio back into the vehicle, and finally assembling your car back and making it look like if it was stock, like if the radio belonged there originally. Got our manuals here, install manual. Put that off to the side. Okay, so along with the radio, we also got this Metro kit and Metro harness. The Metro kit was gonna fill in whatever void around the radio to make it look like if it's a factory install. And the harness is actually gonna be what allows us to interface this into your vehicle so we don't have to cut any factory wiring or anything like that. Saves a lot of headaches down the road.
So when purchasing this unit, there are other parts needed from a different manufacturer?
Absolutely. Basically what happens is the radio manufacturer knows how to manufacture the radio. Their specialty is just radios. You got companies like Metro that make the installation kits. They've taken the time where they make these parts to make it a lot easier. In the old days when these things weren't available, we had to make them by hand. What's really nice is companies like Metro will provide you with an actual manual to show you how to take the car apart. So the guesswork is out of it. Detailed, picture illustrated, lets you know what you have to take apart so you're not spending time taking stuff apart that you don't need to do. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and start taking the car apart and get ready to put our new radio in. We removed everything that we need to. The radio is actually ready to come out at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Simply, once everything's unbolted, radio simply just lifts out. And we got plugs back here that we wanna release and remove, and that'll be the final removal process of the radio. Okay, so now we're following the directions that came with the Metro kit. First part is that we're gonna actually take these brackets off the factory radio because we're gonna go ahead and transfer that over to our aftermarket radio. So that's what we're doing now. As you can see, it comes apart. I've already did the other side already, so this will pretty much just fall out right there. And this is what your factory radio looks like by itself. So at this point, what we're gonna do is prep our stuff so that we can start getting the new radio to retrofit into the factory brackets. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come and take our factory AC controls and put them back into our kit. That's a simple process of just sliding it over and lining up the screw holes with our radio. Now we're at the point we've already modified the kit to fit the factory AC controls, and at this point what we're going to do is go ahead and actually put the kit that's all together on top of the radio, and this is basically what's going to happen once it's installed in the car. And this is what our finished product is going to look like inside the car. So now look, got a nice factory finish. You got the latest technology on an older vehicle.
So this is very interesting, Joe. Where are we at now with the process?
Well, at this point, well, we've obviously completed installing the radio to the Metro kit, so now you can see how that looks. And now we're actually in the wiring parts of it. All right, a lot of these newer vehicles use interface modules now. This is an access piece that's made by Metro, and what this allows us to do is a lot of the cars now talk to each other digitally to interface our aftermarket radio to your car. As you can see, there's plenty of wiring here that has to be done. So it's, a little time consuming. It's something that you really need to know what you're doing before you could just get in and just do it on any of these cars. At this point, we went ahead and done our wiring harness. You can see this is the wiring harness that was provided by Clarion for the Clarion radio. This is the access piece made by Metra, and pretty much plug and play at this point. And the only other hard wires that we're going to have to do once we get into the vehicle is going to be your reverse for your reverse camera as an add-on if you wanted to add that to your system, and the parking brakes. The parking brakes will allow you to actually view DVDs once the handbrakes are pulled. Well, we're back in the car right now, and we're almost at the point where we're ready to put the radio in. A couple things that we're going to prep for. This is one of the most important things when updating your radio system with GPS navigation. This is the actual GPS antenna, and in the older days you had to mount them somewhere outside externally or whatever. Because of new technology, we're able to actually hide this underneath the dash now and not have this showing anywhere, as long as you have it mounted somewhere where it's non-metallic. So underneath the dash where it's all plastic is a great ideal place. And actually, if we can zoom in over here, you'll actually be able to see that there's a big space right in there where I can actually mount the GPS antenna. At this point, we've already installed our GPS antenna, and now what we're going to do is we're going to actually plug in the main unit, which is going to be our radio. And once this is done, we're going to go ahead and start putting our radio back together, do all our testing, and hopefully have a new updated radio for us. We're ready to do our final install of the radio. As you can see, we got everything plugged in, a little tight right there, and the radio is just going to go back in its place where it was, and we're just going to secure that down with the screws and put our dashboard back together. Now we're at the home stretch. We're just bolting her back in, getting ready for the last final trim pieces to be put in, and we'll be set to go. So the last panel that we had to get in was our top panel right here. Got screwed down, put our trim piece back together, and as you can see, the install is complete. We got this nice new upgraded radio, looks like a factory radio install, and you got all the latest technologies on there now, and we're going to show you that in a second.
Wow, this looks amazing.
Here are some of the new features that we've added to the stereo versus the factory Lexus radio that was in here before. You can add a rear camera to it, which is really popular nowadays, to add a camera, so when you put the car in reverse, you actually can see behind you, and it's a safety feature that everybody has. As well as the USB audio, you can actually do USB video, and the same thing with iPods. You can get the optional cable to watch iPod video on this unit. And the most important thing is going to be our Bluetooth phone and our navigation. Navigation is going to give us the GPS that you find in a lot of modern cars, and now the biggest thing too is everything's about safety. So hands-free Bluetooth gives you the capability of still being connected and answering your phone calls while keeping your eyes and hands on the steering wheel and driving safely down the road.
This is really amazing what modern technology offers.
It's endless. I mean, if it's out there, it can be done.
Hey Joe, thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I hope you enjoy it.